Hello, we're here with Lauren Wallace, candidate for Vail Town Council. We are here at the High Five Access Media podcast room. Such a cool place.
Yeah, very
Thank
cool.
you so much for taking the time to come speak to me and speaking to our voters.
Thank you.
So let's just start this off with a very hard question.
Oh boy.
Tell us all a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm gonna start a little further back. I've always been an athlete and a nerd, and so I got an academic scholarship to high school, where I was captain of lacrosse team, and I killed the calculus curve. But that's where I joined the ski team, and it's where I originally fell in love with skiing in the mountains.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up on the eastern shore of Maryland.
Okay.
But I went to
Great skiing in Maryland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We have some really big hills. But I went to high school in Pennsylvania, in Mercersburg. It's called Whitetail.
Right.
I guess it's a ski town. It's a very small ski town.
Seven Springs I've skied at.
We raced there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great place.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love East Coast skiing.
Yeah. So, flash forward, I always had this love of skiing in mountain towns. And I found myself in my first big job, and I was really miserable.
In what city?
I was living in Baltimore, Maryland.
Cool.
Yeah. And I had come out here in 2008 to sort of test the theory that I really wanted to be out here.
Right.
I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any family that was out here. But I came out, and I scanned tickets back when they were testing RFID in Lion's Head. And I had so much fun.
I was working for security at that time, and I was on the team that was developing the RFID system.
Yeah.
It was pretty
cool. It
cool.
was very cool technology. I mean,
Yes.
obviously it worked well because we're using it.
Yep.
And so I went home, and I was really unhappy, sitting at a desk, doing very detailed work in front of screens. And I kind of told myself, come hell or high water, I am moving at the end of 2009, and I saved every other paycheck. And then I packed up my Wrangler and my dog and the few things I had, and I moved out here.
From the East Coast to Vail. Why'd you pick Vail? Had you been here before?
I came out here as a kid once in the summer. I skied out here once.
With your family?
With my family. And then I came out with just my dad and my brother in high school and skied.
Nice.
I had a friend who had family out here. And when I came out in 2008, we came here because she had family here, and we stayed with them.
Gotcha.
And I just fell in love with it. And after being out here in 2008, everybody says this, but I came out here to ski.
Yeah.
And I stayed because of the people.
Right. And have you been here constant since 2008, 2009? Have you?
So 2009, I moved here.
Right.
But not constantly. No, there was a period where I had just bought my condo. By 2012, I bought my condo up here. And I was making no money and trying to find an opportunity to stay in the Valley.
It can be a struggle.
And ultimately, I actually had to move down to Denver for a bit.
But still
go after
Colorado.
a career.
Yeah.
Still Colorado. I jokingly say I was a weekday warrior.
Right.
Because I never rented my condo. I was up here as much as possible. And as I evolved in my career, I was really able to be here a lot more. And I really have called it home the whole time.
Career at that point?
I worked in cable television.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a television background too.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that once before.
Ultimately, like the end of my career as an executive leader, and I ran a business development team that managed relationships with television networks.
Cool. Very cool. What is your overall impression of how things are going in Vail right now? From a 30,000 foot level.
I think we're in a pretty transitional phase. I think we're moving really fast, and we're being really reactive because maybe we haven't focused on some things for a long time. I mean, housing's a great example of that. I think we needed to do a lot, and we needed to do it quickly because we haven't dealt with it, and that creates problems. And at the end of the day, we need to have a thriving community to deliver an excellent guest experience. And we can't have a community, we can't have neighborhoods if we don't have neighbors. And so, right now we've had a lot of focus on our infrastructure, which I think is just table stakes. You have to be able to house your workers, you have to be able to park people, feed people, all these things. And then on top of that, I think we have to come back and focus on community now.
Cool.
To sort of navigate the transition.
Okay, so that was a good segue. Thank you. Into my next question. Briefly or not briefly, what do you see as the hot button issues currently in town? Try and keep it more like, not a list, but some bullet points. What are some of those hot button issues?
I'm trying to think if I want to point out the issues versus what I think the priorities are. But I think
priorities, issues, same thing.
I think some of the hot button issues right now are our parking structure, the short-term rental tax coming up on the ballot, engagement by our community, and ultimately I feel like a fear of divisiveness among the community. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of dialogue about old versus new, local versus visitor, and at the end of the day, I think everyone who lives here and comes here has a lot of common goals and common values. Like we
Right.
love Vail.
Yep.
And people who visit love it, and they probably love it because of our community.
Yep. So here's the question that everyone has probably been asking you.
I missed a big one.
What do you mean?
There's a lot of community development going on.
Oh, okay.
And that can really threaten the composition and experience of our town. And I think that is going to require huge focus.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
No, that was very succinct. That was a great answer. So here's the question that I'm sure you've gotten hit tons of times with. Why are you running for council?
Okay. So I had a lot of loss in a really short period of time. Mm-hmm. I lost my dad, I lost my grandfather, and I lost my job. And that created space for me to reassess my own priorities. I love living here. I love this community. I care about the future of it. That's a priority for me. My other priorities are family, community involvement, and health. And those priorities have really guided my decision making. And so I've gotten more involved in our community, primarily volunteering, not as much activism. This is probably one of the first steps towards that. But it's really that community involvement that led me to want to run for council.
Cool. So my next question will work nicely with that. So give some examples, because you are actually, and this is no value judgment in my mind at all, of the 6 candidates, which I'll give a value judgment, I am very happy there's only 6 and not 25 like there have been in the past. So this way we're going to really get a chance to know all of our candidates. But you are the one candidate who brings outside experience to this position rather than inside experience. We have 4 people who've been on council. We have one other who is on the Planning Environmental Commission, and you. And
me.
And if you remember, I've talked in the past in public about the value of bringing outside experience.
Yeah.
So let us know how your outside experience and maybe some specific outside experiences going to help you be a better council member.
Yeah. I have experience in leadership. I have experience on boards and nonprofits. I've worked with local, state, and federal government. So I have skills.
Like, what volunteer work have you been doing around town?
I volunteer with the VVMTA, predominantly the Ladies Trail Crew. I have to give them a shout out. I mean, when you talk about connection and community, they're doing it. And, well, I guess we're doing it and we're living it. Roundup River Ranch, I volunteered at First Descents. That was a long time. That was more like 2014. I've volunteered for the Vail Valley Foundation. I previously worked there. I think I mentioned that to you. I think those are the big
Right. And I know you applied for...
Oh, yeah. I applied for the Vail Local Housing Authority earlier in the year. I was beat out by a 25-year trailblazer and the chairman of the board.
Right.
Which is,
Yeah,
obvious.
nobody...
A great opportunity.
No matter how great someone is, there was no way they were not going to have Steve Lindstrom back on.
Our council made the right choice.
Yes.
I didn't back out when I found that because I still thought it was
It's good to go through the process.
Yeah, I just started learning more about our town and how we work.
Yep.
But to your question, when I look at things, I kind of wanted to say, let's slow down and speed up for a second. I think, if you were listening to PEC last week, they're calling for tools to navigate some of our community development. When I've talked to some of the people in the community, they say, what does our vision really mean? It's inspirational, but is it too vague? And so I think I can bring independent thought. I've worked with a lot of different personalities, so collaboration is another thing I think I bring to the board. I would like to see those things on the board. And then I think with the budget constraints we're going to have, I think we can create an opportunity to focus on policies and maybe pull up and say, when we think about our vision and our mission, like what are the goals that we're going to set behind them and the metrics to measure ourselves, and our success as a town. So I think that's some of the thought that I have that might be different.
When you have a big decision coming up, what are your strategies for informing yourself? How do you go about making sure that you are making the right decision in that moment?
I think one of the first things is trying to get as much perspective as you can get. Try to poke holes in, if you have a strong thinking on something, like if you feel like you have an opinion, try to identify the weakness or find people that disagree. Get smarter. You do research, you talk to people, you debate it with people, and then ultimately, you try to come up with a solution-oriented outcome as an answer, I think.
Cool. We are coming close to the end.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So candidates for town council, this is a happily small election, and we don't have polls and we don't have many opportunities to be on a soapbox in front of a large amount of voters. So there's just really a couple of opportunities that you have a chance to reach a lot of the voters all at once. This is one of them, and then the live forum is the second one. So while we are in front of the voters right now, please tell us, and this is the last question, tell us, why should we vote for you?
I think, well, number one, this has been an incredible experience, and I'm trying to connect with as many people as possible right now, and I would welcome anyone to reach out to me. I think I bring a range of experience, from teaching skiing to raft guiding, working in nonprofits, boardrooms, and otherwise to the table. I think I bring a fresh perspective. I love our community. I care about the people here, and I care about the future of Vail. And I think it's important that we prioritize the livability for our workforce and our local community, which has changed. I mean, the community's changed. I think it's important that we encourage and support accessible, independent local businesses. I think, the unique experience that really drives the guest experience, it's the foundation of that is our community and our businesses. And then I think we have to continue to prioritize practical environmentalism and sustainability.
Cool.
Yeah, and if those resonate with you, and maybe like me, then I would be honored if you would vote for me, and I hope you vote. I think we could use more engagement from our community in this process, and I will represent Vail well if you do.
Thank you so much, not just for your time today to come here and talk, but I know personally that running for council is a very time-consuming endeavor.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy, but it is very rewarding, and you get to meet a lot of people and you learn a lot. So thank you for going through the journey and preparing yourself to sit on council. So that is great. Lauren Wallace, we'll see you at the live forum. Thank you so much.